don't really see any good gappers. There are a couple of, but a couple of biotech related. Nothing I'm excited about. This one is just meaningless news, pretty much. All right, let's see here. A little bit intrigued about this OCG, and it's a very low price stock, but I think this thing could double very easily, maybe even triple once it gets going. I'm a little bit intrigued by it. I can't figure out what the news is for this Regi. Yeah, I have 2 folders. Does any of you guys, do you find any news for Regi? I used 2 news services and Twitter and I couldn't figure out what the news were. Big volume, really big volume out of the gate. It's almost, yeah, in a few minutes it will be at average daily volume. So the volume is really big. LK, it looks intriguing. I think it could have a nice second leg higher. Needs a couple of more days. Ideally, it goes sideways for at least a couple of more days here in this, I don't know, 31 area, 32 area. I think it could have another very explosive leg higher. ACST looks good also. It's an AMRN sympathy. Looks really good on the weekly chart. I think it could double once it breaks out of this flag. Rida looks really good. This is a high tide flag. It looks really, really explosive here. This is kind of scenario you can risk like $3-4 to make, I don't know, $50. Okay, ACSD is having some volume. I just bought 55,000 shares of MTMB. Or sorry, ACSD, I mean, not MTMB. Let's see what happens. I think it could be very, very explosive. They have some data coming up December 28th. Could have a run up into that data. There's 11 days there. I don't know how many trading days. 1, 2, 3, I don't know, 4, 5, I don't know, 6, 7 trading days. So it could be very explosive into that event, especially with the biotech market so hot right now. It's by far the strongest sector. Oh my god, how many alerts did I have for this ACSD? I'm gonna show you guys something. China is just coming out of this big triangle, just trying to come out of this. I've been talking about this thing for a long time. I think China is on the verge of having a very big move higher, just starting to come out of a range. Big bull flag. Emerging markets overall look at it. I mean, I've been talking about this chart. This is the mother of all charts. I think this thing could double, triple over the next few years. And I'm thinking about doing options on this thing. It tried to break out of this range a couple of days ago, pulled back a little bit. Yeah, over 45 bucks. Yeah, that's the trigger. Europe broke out of a 20-year range just a couple of days ago, I think. I think, you know, I think there will be big moves coming next year. Of course there will be pullbacks, but it's hard to be bearish when so many things are, you know, on the verge of breaking out of long ranges or already breaking out. Short term, are we a bit overbought? Yes. Short term, especially some sectors like biotech are maybe a bit frothy, but I'm very bullish for next year. Especially for like China and emerging markets. Maybe not US as much, because US has outperformed by a wide margin this decade, while Europe and emerging markets have lagged. I think next decade it will be the other way around, that the US lags and the other markets will outperform. But we'll see. I just follow the charts, I follow the price action. It's hard to predict. OCGN. I'm trying to figure out how many shares I should buy if it triggers. Can't buy a big dollar position though. Yeah, this thing probably has toxic financing, so it's just gonna go to zero eventually, I think. But short term, especially with the biotechs this hot, I think this thing could get a pump on, double and maybe even triple or something. So even with a small dollar position, there is money to be made here. Man, Tesla. Every time I look at this chart, it hurts so much. I can't believe I was shorting it on the gap up day. Just, oh, so stupid. And I missed the long setup in it. And the thing is up almost 30% since. Oh my god. OCGN just triggered. I bought 50,000 shares. Let's see what happens. So pretty much 3 cents. I'm risking 3 cents and potentially make, I don't know, 50 cents or I don't know, more potentially. Let's see. Very small dollar position. CHK, I'm thinking about potentially adding to it. I think this thing could be a double even from these levels. It's holding up the gap up very well. AR also just flagging after the gap up. This is one of the most beaten down stocks in the US markets right now. I mean, it's down literally 98% or something like that over the past 5 years. Why can't it have a bounce? Looks like a pullback day today in the markets, or at least in my portfolio. Can't really see a lot of things right now. Looks like a pullback day. Oh damn, the AXSM. A big gap up yesterday. It looks like it's gonna try to fill the gap, or at least some of the gap. This thing is, since early October, this thing was up 550% in a couple of months. What a big move. This year, this AXSM was up almost 2400%. Oil is strong today. WLL is another beaten down oil name. Needs to set up better, but I think there is potential for those kinds of stocks for the next year. I'm a little bit intrigued by this GPT. They had an approval a couple of weeks ago, and they have some pretty damn huge sales estimates for next year and the year after that, for next 2 years. It's flagging. It needs to go sideways a bit more, but I think it could be a big winner next year, maybe. Potentially. Soxol had a big breakout last week. I did not buy this breakout. I should have. Instead, I bought MU on the same day. But I probably should have bought some Soxol too. think this BABA is just getting started. It's only up about 13% from the base break and where I bought it. I think, yeah, I think it goes to 250 or something, 250 plus. It's the leading China stock right now. Tencent had a breakout from a long base a couple of days ago. I didn't buy it, but this looks good also. It's listed on OTC, but yeah, one of the world's leading tech stocks. And if I think if China is gonna have a big run next year, which I think it will, I mean this thing also it could go to 100 or something. JD is lagging. I had JD, but I got stopped out. It's kind of sluggish. It just doesn't act like it should. Momo is another one, been going sideways for a long time, has some good estimates, or okay, not that great, decent estimates, but not super great. Maybe I should raise some stops. ACSD looks good. First candle is a pretty decent volume candle here. CHK, yes. I just got stopped out half of my FTSV short. It's just not going lower. It's holding this this yellow line really well. It tried to break below, but it's just not gonna go lower. It's not going lower. That's a sign of strength. I think it could be like Rida. Also, it just rode this 20 or this 20 period moving average. This yellow line just rode it for a long time, even after the big gap up. So we'll see about this one. The volume is totally gone right now. There's no volume. HDHD is another China name with good estimates. For next year, they're expected to grow 43% EPS and 22% revenues. It's pretty, I don't know, it's not cheap, but it's been going sideways for 2 years, 3 years, and been building higher lows for over a year. I think it starts breaking out of this 38 area. I anticipated a little bit. Another one that could go up 50-100% next year with some patience. MU, I should definitely raise my stop on this thing. And also Brazil, EWZ, tried to come out of this range again, this declining trend line. It's still been building, even with the pullback in November, it still built another higher low. There's so many emerging markets setting up. Look at this chart. This thing has pretty much, Brazil has been pretty much going sideways since 2005, 2006. 2007, or no, yeah, 2006. They take out this. If it starts breaking out from here, you know, could have a big multi-year move. I'm just waiting for this BRCU to set up. This is the vehicle I will trade. Let's see, another microcap name up a lot, big volume. Yeah, oil is strong today. China is strong today. I'm still stalking this gold. It's not going away. It's just building this range, and now it's building another higher lows thingy here. The weekly chart looks like a flag. I think if this gold breaks about this 140 area or high 139s, could have another leg higher. Okay, Rida is trying to break out here. I am... I'm tempted. I am tempted to buy this thing. It looks a little bit choppy on the daily chart, but the weekly chart it looks really clean. It needs to break this 211. It looks really, really good. RRC is another super beaten down oil and gas name. Another name down 95% over the last 4 years, like AR. It has shown some bottoming attempt over the past 3-4 months. We'll see what happens. think it may need a catalyst, like if they restructure debt or something. I think that was the news on CHK, that they restructured some debt. That was the reason this thing gapped up. And AR, their parent company, bought 100 million shares from AR. That was the catalyst. That's why I bought it. So if this RRC has some news, you know, that could be the catalyst for it to go. I think it's a natural gas stock. I think both of them are. I'm tempted by this Rita, but I don't know. Something doesn't feel right about it. One thing is markets are a little bit, little bit overbought in the short term. I'm still waiting for a pullback that has never come. They've just been going higher, which is a good thing, obviously. But it's, gotta be very careful buying new positions here. Unless they're like China or really beaten down names, that's a different thing. SM, another beaten down name, not as beaten down as the others, but just trying to break out of this downtrend. Okay, it looks like slowly most things have turned up. There's not that many things red in my portfolio right now. Well, with the oil stocks, you know, I've been stalking this XOP and ERX. These are and OIH. Those are the three main ones I've been looking at, and I will, you know, it's easier to buy just one or two of these than buy a bunch of, you know, individual oil names, definitely. And it's also safer since you don't have the stock specific risk. And if these things start setting up, you know, maybe early next year or later this year, you know, I'll probably buy one or two of these. If they can go higher and hold a good setup. With the exception of this AR and RRC, because I don't think, you know, these things could have very explosive moves on their own. These are literally two of the most beaten down names over the past 4 or 5 years in the US markets, and they're pretty liquid also. So these ones I trade individually, and CHK also. I think they're all natural gas related. But with the exception of these, yeah, XOP, ERX, and OIH are the ones I'm looking at, ETFs. They're liquid and they have good range. And Gush is a triple ETF of the XOP, I think. You know, this could be interesting too. They just had a reverse split. This thing can make bigger percentage moves than XOP can. No, not XOP, ERX. No. Oil and gas exploration production. Yeah, exactly. It's a triple ETF of XOP. So this could be an alternative to XOP if you want to supercharge your returns. HRTX is another biotech trying to come out of a little bit of a bull flag here. Has very good estimates, has really big revenue growth. Looks interesting. SWM also together with RRC and AR. Also one that I'm stalking to potentially buy. You know, these things could put in big moves. These are stocks that, you know, they could double, triple very fast once they get going. Oh, OCGN almost stopped me out. ACSD, you know, the weekly chart, it's trying. It is trying. HDHD is shaping up a little bit. QFIN also. LK, China, the Starbucks of China. I think this thing could be a very explosive mover. Maybe it goes straight to 40 or something. If it breaks out again in a couple of days, hopefully. Yeah, there's not much going on today. Just managing my positions. I don't think I will open any new ones. I already opened two tiny ones, ACSD and OCGN, tiny positions. But I think both of these can double, triple over the next few weeks. Other than that, I'm just I'm actually gonna go and cook soon, because there is no point in watching paint dry. I may spend, let's spend the next 10-15 minutes going through some of the stuff that triggered the past few days and things I traded. Yeah, BLDP I added yesterday. I was very close buying this Spotify. I think it's gonna be a big winner over the next few years potentially, and it's flagging after its good earnings breakout, and it has also a reasonable valuation. But yeah, I passed on it. It's a very slow mover. I think there are better ones in this market. Oh, DCPH took out yesterday's highs. Interesting. COD had an interesting breakout yesterday. Let's see. I mean, it would be epic if this thing goes to 100 or something. So far, it's had decent follow through. It's holding at least. But this is the I can't believe some of the moves in this biotech stock. There's so many biotech stocks that are up like 1,000% this year. It's just amazing. Just crazy, like back in April, May, who would have thought this thing would go up like 1,000%? It's just amazing. Who would have thought that? It's a liquid piece of shit stock, and out of nowhere, boom. AXSM, same thing. Had some data earlier this year. An extremely high volume. Wow, 50 million volume day. And it just kept going and going, and now it's up over over 3,000%. I can't believe these things. Who would have known? Who would have known? Yeah, LMPX. I actually traded this thing. I'm so glad I avoided it on the way up. But I did minimize the downside. I did short it on this day here after it peaked late day, but I covered before the close, unfortunately, and then I re-shorted on the next day, which is yesterday, and I also covered before the close. I didn't hold it overnight, and I made maybe 45,000 on it overall. But I'm just very happy I didn't get, I didn't short it early. I could have easily lost 50, 100K trying to short it early. So even though I minimized the downside, I also totally eliminated any losses on it. Or just totally avoided, so that's a good thing. ARWR, this one I was stalking for a short. No, not this one. CLVS, I was stalking this one for a short. Last time I streamed, unfortunately, I lost 150,000 on it. It was really choppy. I lost 150,000 on it, and then I nailed it. I made 150,000, or maybe a bit more. So my net profit on this thing was really small. So I'm a little bit frustrated about this one still. It was such a... It wasn't clean. Like on these 2 days, it was very choppy. And then on this day here, it gapped down, pushed a little bit, and then late day had a breakdown, and it was just straight down. Almost a 40% down move. ever read? Yes, I've read his books. Yeah, Trend Following. I've read some of the Covell books. 880. Which stock are you talking about? LMPX? No, not LMPX. I don't know what stock you're talking about. Hyper stock trading. CLVS. Okay. Wait. Short under 880s? 880s? Why do you want to short it under 880s? That's the previous low. There's no setup here. I think it's setting, I mean, right now it's building a flag, I think, you know. I don't see what you're seeing. ACSD is pulling back again. Just can't have a clean breakout. Oh, let's keep doing this. Which I think I was on the 13th. Let's do the 12th. Okay, there's nothing here. XUP had a little bit of a range break here. Not much follow through since. ERX the same thing. Tencent had a nice little range break. It's very clean on the weekly chart. Very, very clean, this range break here. It's a little slower mover than Baba and the other China names, but yeah, this thing could be a long-term hold. It is one of the leading tech stocks, not just in China, but in the world. It's one of the most innovative tech stocks out there. Okay, I'm gonna do a last scan and then I'm gonna cut the stream and I'll go and cook some food. Alright guys, thanks for joining. I don't think I will stream tomorrow. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. I can't guarantee it though. But no matter what, I will see you on Thursday.